We're back. Our cakes are at room temperature, a little warm, but they're mostly at room temperature. And what we're going to do is crumble the cake with our hand and put it right in our clean bowl, our clean stand mixer bowl. And we're going to be putting in icing as well. So we have a pound of icing per cake. We're using this Pillsbury icing. You don't have to use this brand, just a pound of icing per cake. So what I'm going to do, you can use your hands for this. What I'll do is I'll just take a crumbling of cake, and then I'll take a crumbling of icing,
Do more.
and just put it right in there. Take a crumbling of cake, take some icing, put it right in there. And what you want is something that looks like something that's. Isabel, can you hold the computer right over my stand mixer bowl, please?
Sure. Tell me which is a good angle.
You're holding it. You're covering it up. You want something like that. Now just put it back where it was, please.
And just keep mixing.
Yeah.
And make sure to add the other cake too.
Yeah, that'll come later though. Crumbling of cake and some icing. Take a crumbling of cake and some icing. And when you start mixing together, we start to have the basis for our cake pop. Your hands are gonna get really messy doing this, but that's fine. It tastes really good.
Then you could use the stand mixer too.
Take a crumbling of cake and some icing. Crumbling of cake and then more icing. Take a crumbling of cake, then more icing. Take a crumbling of cake, then more icing. Take a crumbling of cake, then more icing. And you just rinse, wash, repeat. And you can mix with the stand mixer. Crumbling of cake, and more icing. Do we mix after every cake?
What?
Do we mix after every cake?
You can mix whenever you want. Just make sure you have the right
Amount?
consistency.
Here, that's the last crumbling of our cake.
Computer.
I know it's a little. It went dark for a second. We take our last crumbling of cake, and then we take the very last bit of our icing and put it right in there. And then we mix, we melt together with the hands a little bit. Hands are extremely messy. That's fine. Is it fine if there's residue on my hands?
Yeah, just keep mixing until it's a dough consistency.
Thank you. We'll mix until it's a dough consistency, like you would have something for bread. Or this is going to be more of a something like this. I mean, that's all stuck to my hands.
Make sure every bit of icing is
Incorporated.
out.
Oh boy.
If you want, you can also use a stand mixer, which is like at that point.
Yeah, but it's so much more fun. So goofy.
Yeah.
It's very vanilla-y. And I believe this is edible because it's not raw cake.
Yeah, you can eat it.
This is in fact edible. This is our cake and our icing melded together. That's really good. Shake it all in there. Make sure you scrape off the side of your hands. It's not the pinky that you use to eat. There we go. Now we'll have to do the next cake. I'm going to wash my hands. We're doing the next cake, okay?
What? Yeah.
You have to wash your hands before doing the next cake. If you want, you can eat the hands. heat off your hands. There we go. Now I'll rinse off and wash my hands, and we'll do the next cake. My sister used a stand mixer. I use not stand mixer, the hand mixer, and I'm using the actual hand method.
Yeah, I was gonna do the hands. I just want to look at the gist of it.
All right, time to do the next cake.
Crumble and butter.
Exactly. Do we have the next batch of icing?
No,
Jar?
no more icing. That's it.
Oh, that's it? Okay.
Yeah, just incorporate it.
So it's one icing to two cake?
This is technically one box of cake. But it's
Yeah,
just
that's fair.
formed into two.
You're right, I
It's
forgot
split
about that.
into two separately.
You're right, it's still one box of cake mixed to one icing. So you have two cake
Yeah.
so you have two full cakes to one jar of icing.
Exactly.
So we'll get this a little thicker. But we're still at a wonderful consistency to eat before. But now we're making it a little thicker for our cake pop purposes.
Yeah.
It's okay. There we go. And then now, I'm just going to melt together with my hands again. Now your dough is going to be significantly less slimy because it has all this extra cake melted in from our second cake. One box, two cakes.
Let me go wash this. Make sure you yeah.
Now we keep now we just keep melding until everything's incorporated. There you go. I'm almost done. I think this cake dough is now pretty much melded together, and we're gonna be ready for our next step. If you want, you could eat this off your hands, but I haven't had lunch yet, so I'm gonna have lunch before I eat another round of this off my hands. So I'm just gonna go wash them quickly. But this is the actual dough part of our cake pop. Alrighty. So now what we're gonna actually do is pause the video and pause the video and prepare for our next step, which is going to be actually, I believe, assembling the cake pop itself.
Now we're gonna put them in the
Okay?
yeah.
Yeah, these are these things. As we start to do that and prepare for our next step.
Now we're gonna roll them and shape them.
So this is what my finished dough consistency actually looks like. This shaggy dough right here.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like a thick bread dough, it's a shaggy dough.
These are the same.
Alright. Alright, and now we're gonna start actually laying them out. So I'll just swivel over here.
Alright.
Swivel, swivel.
Use this one first.
Oh, this tray?
Oh.
Okay.
That's like an example.
An experimental batch of cake pops was made last night. This isn't the perfect cake pop, it's not, as everything's not fully coated, but we're going to be doing something similar. So we're just gonna start taking our balls of dough.
Make sure they're not too big and not too small.
Yeah, just
This
like
is
meatball sized, right?
Yep.
And roll them like that, and put them right into your mold.
Put them on this mold. That's on the.
Okay. Maybe make these a little smaller.
The bigger it is, the harder it's.
The harder it is for the icing to coat and stick, and the cake pop might fall off the stick, and it just isn't. It's not going to be a good experience. You want to err on the smaller side rather than erring on the bigger side. And we keep going away.
And we're gonna need another tray because this makes like about 20.
Sometimes you'll have smaller ones and bigger ones.
We should make this bigger.
Yeah, but then they're fitting nicely in the mold. I mean, we can make them bigger.
Yeah, because it's not. It's still. It's gonna be hard. It's not gonna. It has to be. Has to at least fit in the size. Like it can't be any smaller. And if you add more, you have to roll it.
Okay.
Re-roll it.
It's a really a craft getting this.
That's too big.
Yeah, we'll get there someday. No, it's fine if the screen's a little off.
You could take the sample cake pop out if you want.
No, keep it there for reference. Now we just keep rolling. They don't necessarily have to be perfect spheres.
Yeah. This has to be good enough.
Continuing rolling. This should take a while.
Yeah.
That's fine. It's taking me a little longer to roll.
make sure it's not touching.
So it's coming along pretty well. Trying our best to get them relatively smooth. I might have to do some re-rolling to get more smooth. We're almost through tray 1. Now we just have to roll out the rest. We're still recording, which is very good. Bunch these trays. So your goal is, you don't have to necessarily get them to be a perfect circle, but you do want them to be relatively smooth. Or not necessarily a perfect circle, a perfect sphere, because a circle is two-dimensional. But you do want it to be a relatively smooth sphere. There we go. No, this one's just not cooperating with me. Let's try this one. Let's try this little ball. Go right there, it's a little big. So we'll...
It sticks to your hand.
Yep. It's massive. Can't seem to get this last one just right. Weird. That's good. Now on to the next tray. Rolling this first, I'm gonna wash my hands because I pulled my sleeves. Almost out of this one.
Yeah, you can use some of mine. I'm just gonna re-roll.
I'll also do some real rolling, but that's okay. Sometimes it's just how it has to be. better. Here we go. I'm scraping out the last bit of cake pop mixture I can get. We still have a little extra big one. Let's start rolling with some of this. Go. And we continue. Now we just grab the rest and scrape along the sides here. There we go. This one. Go. Almost halfway done with we're roughly halfway done with our second tray. Or rather, our third tray, because I have a tray, Val has a tray. And actually, I have a full tray, I have half a tray. And Belle's a full tray. That's just re-rolling. So 3 trays. Right now 2.5. Not that. Here now it's a bit small. That one was a bit big. Perfect size though. We might be able to finish this next tray. We'll have to see. A little more. There we go. That one's good. A little big actually. To wash my hands again. So I can more effectively roll when I pull up my sleeves. And the video is still going strong. Melted chocolate will come into play a little later.
Yeah, but we need to get the chocolate in the stick. Alright.
on. Keep going away. We're still filming, right? Good. Good. Yeah, we're skipping the last bit of this for our last cake top. I don't think we're gonna do a third tray. I mean a fourth tray. The third tray is almost done.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to do
Just gotta get everything I can for that, though.
it. Right.
Yeah. A little more.
Gonna see how well. Actually, no.
There we go. Now it's good size. All right, we got everything that we need. Great. That's 3 trays of cake pop rolls.
Yeah, I think these are. Maybe fix that one. Take a little off this one.
Okay.
I think they look good. Let's make sure they're rolls like this one.
Yeah. They fray naturally over time, though. Or at least it seems to me that they do. Maybe I'm wrong. Actually, I don't think so. Probably they've just got a little shaggy. A little water on your hands might help.
Yeah, it helps.
It helps not. It helps things not get on your hands, as well as help you mold more smooth shapes.
Alright, I think these are good.
Great.
Alright. And then we
Alrighty.
have to put the. I'm gonna see how much this is. A little more chocolate.
Alrighty.
With a little chocolate, I would think like maybe like a little.
We're preparing our next step.
Like that, a little less to scale it.
Alright.
See that?
Yeah, we just move this. We just move this over here. What I can do is I'll just take one of these sticks,
Or dip it in the chocolate, put a lot, be generous,
dip it in like this,
and put it in. And then seal it with more chocolate.
then put it in.
Right in the middle. Yeah, that actually is enough. I don't think you need to seal that one.
And then just twirl it, give it a good twirl.
Yeah.
This seal of chocolate right there is vital because it ensures that the stick will not fall off. Just go in and
Yes.
twirl.
Alright. Can you
Have a
put
good
the-
amount of chocolate.
Here, can you put
Then
the
in.
chocolate thing on right here?
Yeah.
Yeah, that helps.
And we just twirl.
Be generous and stick. That one might need a little more. This is the spoon that we can use. Could be.
Twirl and stick. How deep in should they go?
Not that deep, or else it's gonna go right through the circle.
Don't go terribly deep. There we go. But you want to make sure it's straight up. Now we just keep going. Great. Okay. It's going pretty well. And here we go. Don't be shy. Just get the stick of chocolate.